Coming right up, Straight Talk with Art Levine. Our guest tonight, Los Angeles County Assessor Jeffrey Prang, as we continue our 24th anniversary year.
Straight Talk is brought to you in part by the Port of Long Beach, a leader in international trade and environmental stewardship. And the Press Telegram, your local news leader for over 100 years. And Scan Health Plan, for your health and independence.
Join us for tonight's edition of Straight Talk. And now your host, Art Levine.
Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk. We have a great show for you tonight. Our guest for the entire show is our Los Angeles County Assessor, Jeffrey Prang. Mr. Prang, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Art. Great to be here.
Let me just show the current issue of the Straight Talk magazine. We have a cover story on Mr. Prang. Also, it's our summer 100 Days of Summer issue. You'll find a lot of schedules for movies, concerts, all things you can do for free or almost no cost here in Long Beach, 100 Days of Summer. Jeffrey, what does the assessor do? A lot of folks probably know the name, but they really don't have clearly in mind what you do.
So, a couple things. First of all, I'm not the tax collector. You don't pay your taxes to the assessor. The assessor's job is to locate and identify all taxable property in LA County to create the annual assessment roll, which is really the value of LA County, and this becomes the foundation for the property tax system. So we identify real property as well as business personal property such as furniture, machinery, and equipment. We establish a value with it. That information is provided to the tax collector, who sends you your bill and collects your property taxes.
And if the taxpayer is unhappy with the assessment, thinks it's too high, there's a Board of Appeals that he can go to?
Yes, the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors appoints an appeals board, which is a quasi-judicial body, and you can go there and argue your valuation with them to see if you think it's too high. Or if you think it's too low. A few people will.
Really? That's very generous.
But people usually won't make that argument, though.
But if property values go down, like in the recession or something, you reassess without being asked to. That's part of your responsibility.
That's correct. Under Proposition 13, if your property loses value and it goes beneath the base year, your base year is usually established at the time that you purchase your home. If your property value is reduced lower than your base year value, we will lower your assessment during that period of time. During the recession that started in 2008, over 500,000 properties in LA County out of 2.5 million properties lost value. And today, even though we've recovered substantially, there's still almost 200,000 properties that are still undervalued from that recession.
But as the economy improves,
we restore
you can restore it to market value up to what the original purchase price was.
Back up to your base year. So when you buy your home, if you buy a home for $500,000, that becomes your base year for the life of your ownership, and it will increase by no more than 2% per year. So if you lose value, if it goes from $500,000 down to $250,000, and then goes back up again, we will restore it back to the $500,000, but no higher than the base year.
And of course, that was the famous Prop 13, Howard Jarvis, limiting increases to 2% a year.
That's correct. So, and I think this year the increase is going to be just under 2%.
Well, let's look at some of the major initiatives that you've undertaken since. And by the way, you were elected in 2014.
That's right. I've been on that job a little bit more than a year and a half.
And you have a 4-year term.
That's correct.
And you're eligible for re-election and re-election and re-election. No term limits.
There are no term limits. I did want to say one thing about the office that people don't know. When they think about our office, they generally think about your home, your property, and your property taxes. But I always like to tell my employees that in many ways, my office is really one of the most important offices that there is, because no other agency gets to do their job till we've done ours. So before a teacher walks into a classroom, before a police car rolls through a call, before the city pays the streets, they need to be paid for, which is through property taxes. And that all begins with my office.
And the property taxes are a major component, it's certainly not the only component of the tax, of the income flowing into the county.
That's correct. For counties, cities, and schools, property taxes, sales taxes are substantial revenue streams to pay for those vital services.
Well, we thank you for making possible police and supervisors, for that matter. Their salary comes from
That's
partially
true.
from. Okay. Well, what are some of the major initiatives that you've undertaken since your term started?
So the major thing that we're doing, it's going to consume my entire term as assessor, is replacing our technology. You know, an office like assessor, we value 2.5 million parcels of property in LA County every year. It's valued at over $1.3 trillion.
Oh my!
But we are still substantially a paper-based organization. Those properties are still each associated with a paper file. Our computer systems are a 1970s era mainframe, green screen, DOS-based system. It's something,
oh my God.
If you look at our systems, it's almost laughable. It's so old. So we're in the process of a 4 to 5 year project to upgrade our technology, to digitize all of our documents. And when we are done, it's going to be about a $60 to $80 million project, but we're going to completely transform the technology in the Office of the Assessor, which is important not just for my office operations, but there's a lot of other county departments that are saddled with these old mainframe systems.
Sure.
And most importantly, is LA County is really the lead county amongst California assessors. We will set the technology standard for the 57 other county assessors.
Well, it obviously is vitally important. I remember my first law job after graduating law school and completing my naval service was with a real estate firm in New York, and I used to go down to these books to see what the assessment was, and clients of the firm were asking for a reduction in their assessed value, and that was back in the mid-1960s, and you're still with the books and everything.
But that's changing. It's changing quickly. We're investing a tremendous amount of resources into transforming our technology.
And you've created a one-stop counter. Tell us about that.
This is to address some of the confusion with the property tax system. Everybody thinks that I'm the tax collector. So when they have a problem with their tax bill,
he's a good guy. He's not the tax collector.
But they come to my office. They come to our district offices, and so I'm working with the other departments that are involved in property taxes, the auditor controller, and the treasurer and tax collector, and we create a one-stop shop. So if people come to the assessor's office, this is in the Hall of Administration downtown. You come to the assessor's desk and complain about your tax bill. We can take you right over to the next window and say, we'll fix
That's
it.
smart.
Instead of passing it along and saying, that's not my job, the three of our departments all got together and said,
breaking down silos. We'd
Exactly.
love to hear that. Okay, we'll be continuing this great discussion after these messages.
At the Port of Long Beach, we're not only delivering jobs, smart ideas, and forward-thinking environmental initiatives, we're also delivering opportunity for all of Southern California. Oh, and a clearer horizon line. To learn more, go to POLB.com, the Port of Long Beach, thinking outside the docks.
At Performance Plus Tire, you'll find we carry Toyo tires. For over 50 years, Toyo has been a world leader in the development of high-quality tires. Optimum performance, safety, and a comfortable ride. That's what makes Toyo tires great. And now come into Performance Plus Tire for a great deal on these Toyo tires. Proxys ST, Open Country AT, and Proxys 4. Toyo tires, driven to perform. Come in today and we'll install new Toyo tires on your vehicle while you wait. Performance Plus Tire on Cherry Avenue, 1 mile north of the 405 in Long Beach.
We're back with our county assessor. Jeffrey, there's some legislation involving mobile homes that you're involved in.
There's a big initiative that I've launched since I've been assessor is to try to change the law dealing with the regulation of mobile homes in certain circumstances. In a lot of coastal communities, there's these old mobile home parks that have been there since the 50s, kind of where the beach bums lived during the Gidget movies of the 60s. Well, they're now in the this is now sitting on very, very valuable property. So a lot of people are converting these old mobile homes into site-built, stick-built homes. For example, one of these mobile homes just sold a few weeks ago for $5.3 million.
$5.3 million for a mobile home?
But they are regulated as vehicles. So the property taxes that they pay, in lieu of property taxes, they pay $29 for a vehicle registration
Well, that's
fee.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And my view is that if you are converting a mobile home into a home, you should pay property taxes like everyone else.
Why isn't a mobile home taxable as a mobile home, regardless of whether you convert it?
They pay vehicle fees. It's a different.
So a mobile home is not taxable as property tax?
If they're built post 1980, they are, but the pre 1980 mobile homes are not.
Well, why shouldn't?
And that's what I'm trying to change.
Okay, well,
Senator Ben Allen has introduced legislation. We're hoping we'll get it through this year.
Good luck for that. And you also have an open data transparency initiative.
As people know, my predecessor went to jail. There was a lot of problems with the office, and I'm putting a lot of emphasis on transparency.
We support transparency here at Straight Talk all the time.
So one of the things I've done is I've put the largest property data file of information onto our website. This is the largest property data initiative that we've, as far as we know, anywhere in the country. It allows you to search archives and indexed information. It's free of charge. It basically is making all this public information that we keep available to members of the public to learn about what we do.
And we're putting up the website at the end of each segment if you want to go visit that. Small businesses need help. California has a reputation as not being particularly friendly to small businesses. But what are some of the things you've been doing?
So I'm launching an initiative in a couple of weeks in July. As you know, we don't only process and value real property, we also do business personal property, machinery, equipment, furniture. Right now you have to disclose and pay taxes on furniture, machinery, and equipment that's valued at $2,000 or more. I'm proposing that we increase that threshold from $2,000 to $5,000. That means a lot of small businesses will no longer have to pay that tax.
Great.
But importantly, it'll save my department money as well, because it costs us about over $50 to process an assessment, and on a $2,000 piece of equipment, there's only $20 in revenue that's generated.
Makes sense to me. Homeowners exemption has been around a long time, and people should know that at no cost to you, you get a $7,000 exemption as a homeowner.
Yes, $7,000 off
the assessed
value, which saves you about $70 a year.
$70 a year. So if you want to save $70 a year, most people do it, but a lot still don't.
There's 500,000 people in LA County who don't file.
Hey guys, 500,000 people, save $70 a year, take your wife to a dinner, and $70.
Easy to do. You can do it online.
Do it online.
Right.
Can they go to your website?
They go to my website.
Go to his website and file if you haven't already.
No downside.
Parent-child exclusion.
So if you have owned your home for a long time and you want to give it to your children when you pass away, you can transfer your base year property tax value to your children.
So if you bought a home way back before you had your family, $30,000, $40,000, where there would be an assessed valuation of $300 a year, 1%, and now it's worth $500,000. You give that to your kid, and they keep that $300 a year.
Yeah, and this is a good way to help keep property in the family, because a lot of people might lose the family may lose the property because of the increase in taxes.
And senior replacement dwelling benefit. This is very important. I've used it myself, but explain it.
So if you are a senior citizen,
Oh my God, I'm not a
so you can, and you have a low property tax base value, you can transfer that base value if you buy a home of equal or lesser value than the one that that you're currently living in.
In LA County.
In LA County. This was really a benefit to help people as they get older. They want to downsize because sometimes downsizing doesn't mean your taxes are going to go low. In this economy, in this market, your taxes could very well go up.
You don't want to give up that low tax basis, but it's good state policy to encourage liquidity in the real estate market, and this helps do that.
And this helps make sure that you can continue to afford to own your own home as you get older.
Well, tell us a little bit about the portal. What does that concept mean?
So this is part of our technology initiative. Right now, if you were to go on our website, it's very, very complicated. We're putting a new portal in. That's the access to it. So it's much more intuitive, much easier to read. You can go on our website now and see pictures and maps, and you can read our information. You don't have to know all the codes. It's plain language.
Well, I think it's great when government reaches out to the people. We ultimately are the ones that pay your salary and everyone else's salary through our taxes. So it's great to have user-friendly and sensitive public officials who are trying to make our life a little easier.
I take that very seriously. I know who I work for, and it's not a day goes by where I don't ensure that I'm working hard on your behalf.
That's great. Okay, we'll be back with more of our show after these messages.
How do you like your chances the rest of the way?
I got no idea. But I do know that if we stay with Naples Rib Company, at least we won't go hungry.
Coach, what do you think about some of those questionable calls tonight?
Oh, yeah. But if you want a sound call, I'd call Naples Rib Company. You can't miss on that call.
Then Naples Rib Company is part of your game plan?
There really is nothing more motivating than a great barbecue meal at Naples Rib Company.
Victory or not, Naples Rib Company, great game plan.
Founded in 1976, Polly's Gourmet Coffee is Southern California's most complete gourmet coffee store. Polly's has the best tasting coffee, freshly roasted every day right in the store, plus a wide selection of teas, an in-house bakery, espresso bar, patio dining, and more. We also offer Wi-Fi, free internet access for all of our customers. Our nationwide clientele agree when it comes to coffee, there's only one name to remember, Polly's, 4606 East 2nd Street, welcoming you into Belmont Shore.
Phil Trainees mixes California style with continental cuisine that includes fresh seafood from around the world. Since Phil is the chef, the menu has a wide variety of pastas, salads, soups, and appetizers that feature his unique personal touch. And the Italian-American signature dishes are simply beyond delicious. You never know who you're going to run into at Trainees, from the famous sports legends on the Wall of Fame to local celebrities having a drink at the bar. For the best fine dining experience, visit Phil Trainees.
How many times have I told myself? About 112. These internet and phone charges are going through the roof.
Is it too much to ask for reliable service?
At a fair price?
There's got to be a better deal out there.
With Spectrum Business, you don't pay more, you get more. Faster 60 meg internet, more advanced phone, at a price that can save you $600 a year.
Now we're talking.
We are?
I said I.
We are back having this conversation with our County Assessor Jeffrey Prang. In this last segment, we'd like to get a little up close and personal with our guests. And Jeff has an interesting background, born in Warren, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit, degree from Michigan State University, and played trombone in the marching band, and also attended the School for Senior Executives at the Kennedy School for Government at Harvard. Very impressive background.
Thank you.
I played in the band too. I played the glockenspiel.
I don't know if we had a glockenspiel when I was in the marching band in college.
Jeff also was on the city council for 18 years in the city of West Hollywood and 4 terms as mayor. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, West Hollywood's really an exciting city to not only to live in, but to be part of the government. You know, we did a lot of cutting-edge policy. It's a small city, but it has a big reputation. When I was there, we invested tremendously in infrastructure, built a huge new library for the county system, and I put a lot of emphasis on animal welfare issues when I was on the city council. It was an exciting place to.
One of my favorite restaurants, I think the oldest restaurant in West Hollywood, Musso Frank. It's a New York type restaurant, and I don't know if it's still there.
It's actually in Hollywood, which is
really?
It's a West Hollywood adjacent, we call that.
So there's Hollywood and West Hollywood. And
So West
Hollywood is just part of L.A., right?
That's right. It's part
but
of-
West Hollywood is an incorporated city, obviously.
That's correct. It's nestled between Old Hollywood and Beverly Hills.
Got it.
The
And
Sunset Strip is in West Hollywood, though.
Really?
The reason it's called the Sunset Strip is because the strip of sunset that was not in Beverly Hills or Los Angeles. It's about a mile and a half long, and it had a really interesting history. The reason it has so many nightclubs there is because during Prohibition, the sheriff's department was perceived to be more lenient on speakeasies than the LAPD, so they all moved to Sunset Strip in West Hollywood.
That's a great bit of history. You were also assistant city manager for the city of Pico Rivera.
I've spent my entire adult life in government service, and I was really pleased to be able to move to positions of senior government management before being elected as assessor.
What attracted you to public service? I mean, you had a fine education. You could have gone in the private sector, but you chose what you did.
I've always been drawn toward public service. Even when I was a little kid, I was kind of a weirdo in that regard. But I knew when I went to college that I wanted to be involved in public policy and government. I was an intern in the Michigan legislature. I began working in local government immediately out of school. There's nothing else I ever wanted to do.
Well, that's great. It's so important to have competent, honest, and dedicated public officials because so much damage can be done. Your predecessor.
My predecessor was under indictment. He spent 5 months in jail, and we've been working very hard to try to clean up those issues and to restore public confidence in this agency. It's a very important agency, as we've discussed, and people need to know that we're watching out for their best interests.
And there have been problems with the LA County Sheriff, well publicized.
A lot of problems in the county in recent years with the Sheriff's Department, with the Assessor's Department, but I think that Sheriff Jim McDonald and I are both doing what we can to restore public faith and confidence.
Jim McDonald is the best, absolutely. And the former sheriff in Orange County,
Mike Corona. Yes, he's also he may still be in jail. He spent several months in jail.
So if you mess up in the private sector, that's one thing, but public service is a public trust, in my view, and it's a double whammy when you mess up in public service.
Well, it is, because the people are trusting you to watch out for their best interests, and when they're not, they're angry, and they should be, and the punishments should be severe and swift.
Well said indeed. But you also are a certified real estate appraiser, so you went through the training.
I did go through the training. All assessors in California are required to have that license, just as the sheriff is required to be as a peace officer. The most of our employees in our department, about half of them, are licensed real estate appraisers. That's our core function.
And you are a member of the International Association of Assessing Officers, the IAAO, and served on the executive staff of the LA County Office of the Assessor.
That's what I was doing. When I got elected assessor in 2014, I was serving in the department as a special assistant doing public affairs for the Office of the Assessor. And since I've been elected, this is a very difficult craft. So being involved in organizations such as the International Association of Assessing Officers, the California Assessors Association, helps ensure that we're providing standardized practices in how we do our profession.
Did you have any idea that one day you would be the elected assessor, or did that just happen by, not coincidence, but when your predecessor got into legal trouble?
It really was coincidence. I happened to be in the office about the time that scandal broke. I played a role in helping to reconcile that scandal. I was part of the cleanup team in the interim period. And when it was clear that he was going to be gone and somebody needed to stand up to continue the reforms, I was the one who did so.
Well, we wish you Godspeed in that effort in the assessor's office, and certainly you mentioned Jim McDonald. He has a big challenge in his job of making needed changes.
He does, and we work closely together, and I appreciate your good wishes.
You bet. Okay, we'll be back with the rest of our show after these messages.
Phil Trainees mixes California style with continental cuisine that includes fresh seafood from around the world. Since Phil is the chef, the menu has a wide variety of pastas, salads, soups, and appetizers that feature his unique personal touch. And the Italian-American signature dishes are simply beyond delicious. You never know who you're going to run into at Trainees, from the famous sports legends on the Wall of Fame to local celebrities having a drink at the bar. For the best fine dining experience, visit Phil Trainees.
There's a world of opportunity available through the College of Continuing and Professional Education at Cal State Long Beach. Would you like to move ahead in the field of human resources and personnel management? Sign up for the Human Resources Management Certificate Program. You'll learn how to expand your knowledge and skills and advance in this dynamic industry. For more information, contact the College of Continuing and Professional Education at Cal State Long Beach.
You've been planning this moment for a long time. It couldn't be a more perfect moment. And you have the perfect ring that will tell her, I want to love you forever. But nothing is perfect.
Don't listen to that guy. He got the ring at McCarty's.
McCarty's makes a moment.
At Performance Plus Tire, you'll find we carry Toyo tires. For over 50 years, Toyo has been a world leader in the development of high-quality tires. Optimum performance, safety, and a comfortable ride. That's what makes Toyo tires great. And now come into Performance Plus Tire for a great deal on these Toyo tires. Proxys ST, Open Country AT, and Proxys 4. Toyo tires, driven to perform. Come in today and we'll install new Toyo tires on your vehicle while you wait. Performance Plus Tire on Cherry Avenue, 1 mile north of the 405 in Long Beach.
I think the county is fortunate to have as a county assessor a man of the integrity and dedication of our guest, Jeffrey Prang, and we wish him success in the activities in which he is engaged, which we've discussed at some length in this really good show. So, Jeff, thanks for joining us here on Straight Talk, and you have a minute to say whatever you like.
Well, Art, I really appreciate the invitation to be here. We're an office that people don't really know a lot about us or what we do or why we're important, so I'm grateful to have the opportunity to explain that. One, I want people to know that our job is to establish value for your property for tax purposes. We're working very hard now to try to do that as efficiently and as fairly as possible to make certain that the values are accurate and that they're applied equitably to everybody in the county. But we also have a lot of programs and services that can help you save money on your taxes, whether it be the homeowner's exemption, senior exemptions, veterans exemptions. So you can go to our website. We've made that website much more easy and intuitive to use. There's a lot of information about your property, about how property taxes are used, and what we can do to make your life a little bit easier, and that piece of your world that deals with the property tax system.
Wonderful. Jeff, thanks so much for being our guest.
Thank you so much, Art. It's great to be here.
And thank you at home for watching. Please join us next week for the next edition of Straight Talk. Good night, everyone.
Straight Talk has been brought to you by the Port of Long Beach, the Press Telegram, and Scan Health Plan. And remember, Straight Talk is viewable 24/7 at straighttalktv.com.